In June, the Michelin Guide announced that it would begin awarding stars to restaurants in Colorado, specifically in 5 cities: Aspen and Snowmass, Vail, Beaver Creek, Boulder, and then, as it turns out, that number equals the total number of stars the guide doled out. Diners bent on visiting the starred restaurants can spend the majority of their time in Denver free, make side trips to Boulder and Aspen. When Michelin announced the list on Tuesday at a live event in Denver, it unveiled just 5 one-star restaurants. The guide defines a one-star establishment as high-quality cooking worth a stop. That's the lowest number of stars for any guide in North America. When the inaugural Florida Guide was unveiled in June 2022, there were 15 starred restaurants in Miami and Orlando, including one with 2 stars. Excellent cooking, worth a detour. Likewise, the first guide for Toronto, released in September 2022, named 13 restaurants with stars, with 2. The best-known newly starred restaurant in the Colorado Guide is Frasca Food and Wine in Boulder, a 19-year-old destination that serves bold takes on the cooking of northern Italy. Long Mine. It also has one of the more thoughtful wine lists in the U.S. The 4-course menu goes for $140 and has included risotto with aged carnaroli rice and New York strip steak with horseradish. And at Bruto in Denver, chef Michael Diaz de Leon received a star for his wood-fired, Latin American accented tasting menus, which showcase tacos filled with the catch of the day, as well as white Sonora fettuccine with salsa macha. Buto was one of 4 restaurants to garner a Green Star 2, marking places with a notable sustainability program. A Green Star doesn't count towards the overall star count. Second Denver restaurant that was given both a conventional star and green one was the Wolf's Tailor. It focuses on international flavors and techniques and 0 waste. There with dishes like lamb's neck with tamarind sweet soy cooked on a rabata grill. And the pace at which the Michelin Guide is expanding has again brought up the question of what makes a restaurant star-worthy. Among the highlighted dishes at the newly starred Bosque in Aspen is a caviar bump for $35. And how much those stars still matter anyway. Colorado will be the 6th guide in the U.S. The others are New York, California, Washington, D.C., Chicago, and Florida. It won't be the newest for long. This fall, Michelin will publish its first Atlanta guide. And coming soon to North America are Star Awards in Vancouver. Toronto marked Canada's inaugural guide. How Michelin chooses new areas to cover seems to be guided by the budgets of local tourism agencies. Tim Wolf, the director for the Colorado Tourism Office, announced last year that the company would spend an additional $9 million to attract tourists, after visitors' spending fell by $9 billion from 2019 to 2020. The agency is paying $100,000 annually to have Michelin in Colorado. According to the New York Times, the agreement is to run 3 years. Local agencies in Vail, Denver, Aspen, and Beaver Creek also reportedly agreed to pay from $70,000 to $100,000 each. Colorado cities that did not participate, such as Colorado Springs and Aurora, were not visited by the guides and omnis inspectors. It remains to be seen how people in a city like Beaver Creek, which had no starred restaurants on the list and scored only a pair of places on the recommended list, designated as a place with well-cooked food, will feel about how their money is being spent. At the end of August, Michelin announced the Colorado Bib Gourmands, or cheap eats. So I'm 9 on the list, 8 are in Denver. And still some chefs defend the guide's importance. David Kinch, who closed his 3-star restaurant on Reza at the end of 2022, has argued that the star system remains relevant. It's easy to pick on Michelin, he told Bloomberg last year in an interview. But anyone who says they lost their influence has no idea what they're talking about. Beckin, Denver Bosque, Aspen Brute, Denver Frasca,
Food and Wine, Boulder the Wolf's Taylor, Denver, AJ's Pit Barbecue, Denver Ash, Cara, Denver Basta, Boulder Junior Pig, Denver Glotto House, Denver Hop Alley, Denver La Diabla, Pizzoli Mezcal, Denver Mister, Ozo, Denver Cavernetta, Denver, Black Belly Market, Boulder Bramble and Hare, Boulder Bruteau, Denver the Wolf's Taylor, Denver